Hey there, Paul from Vurbl here. We're building the biggest audio destination on the internet, where audio creators like you can build and monetize their audience. To learn more, all you have to do is visit Vurbl.com, that's VURBL.com, and sign up as a beta subscriber. While you're on the site, peruse our growing list of podcast reviews to discover your next binge-worthy show. And now, on to Life Transformation Radio.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I am your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and international best-selling author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 79 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can join our Facebook group, Life Transformation Radio Community, and never miss an episode by subscribing wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. Life Transformation Radio can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, Castbox, Himalaya app, the Google Play Music app, Pandora, and available at our YouTube channel, Life Transformation Radio. On the show, my guests are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, podcasters, authors, amazing human beings that are impacting the world around them. And my guest today has done exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, you can call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, David Lee Jensen. David, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thank you so much for having me, Sean Douglas. I am absolutely stoked to be here.
I am completely honored to have you. You are one of the experts that I know the audience is going to learn a lot from, and you've been around. You got the scars and you got the T-shirt.
Not like you, my friend. I really want to make sure I absolutely start off with a thank you. And God bless you for your service.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. So
I come from a military family, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, perfect. Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. The title of this episode is Create Your Future with entrepreneur David Lee Jensen. David Lee Jensen founded 3 successful startups, The Hiring Academy, Interview Blueprint, and Create Entrepreneurs, along his purpose to create a remarkable impact on the production and prosperity of the world. He is the author of the #1 best-selling book, The Naked Interview, Hiring Without Regret, and also Hire Me or Else, How to Land a Job You Love. He travels the world as a motivational keynote speaker focused on culture, team building, hiring, leadership, and entrepreneurship, sharing the stage with the likes of Joe Polish, Richard Branson, and Tim Story. David shares his insight, inspiration, and secrets to success from growing a company to $2.5 billion with a B, $2.5 billion in client sales to the entrepreneurial leap. His analogies on genius, happiness, and his story of overcoming personal adversity to get there are riveting. His expertise in hiring the right person the first time and every time is applicable in his clients include Fortune 50 to industry associations like Microsoft, NetApp, Domino's, McDonald's, and an affiliate partnership with the Cardone University. David is currently presenting the Create Your Future Conference, a 2-day live event to help you become or accelerate as an entrepreneur. His website is David Lee, L-E-E, David Lee Jensen, J-E-N-S-E-N, davidleejensen.com. Go check that out. Go check out what it is, the Create Your Future Conference. Go see what he's got. Get his books. His Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter links are right there in the show notes. Connect with him and send him a friend request letting him know that you listened to his episode of Life Transformation Radio. These episode show notes are brought to you by Vurbl, and they're launching a new technology for audio creators like me, so our message is broadcast loud and clear. You can join them at vurbl.com, vurbl.com. So thank you to our sponsor. David, man, the first question I have to ask, first let me start off by saying Joe Polish, Richard Branson, Tim Story, all amazing, amazing human beings. I had Joe Polish on my show last September. We spent some time in Lake Tahoe together at the Spartan Race World Championship. Yeah. I got to know him, and he is absolutely a brilliant, brilliant guy. And I've got to know him, over the past, months after September. So he's an absolute rock star. His podcast, I Love Marketing, with Dean Jackson, is absolutely phenomenal podcast. But my first question is, why? Why do you do what you do?
Oh, boy. Well, probably because I have, if you're a Spartan guy, then I've got Joe DeSena breathing down my neck saying, come on, man, what's next?
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I had him on the show, too. Yep.
Oh, man. I met him at Genius Network, Joe Polish's group, and what an amazing, inspiring guy. Why I do what I do? I think it's just an observation of life and living this, and the fact that, I think we're all endowed inherently with an ability to help, and I think it's a choice. And I think, you get tested along the way in your life, and I thought it was only me, but I've learned along the way that it's every single person I've ever met has had some adversity in their life. I overcame, child abuse, had to dial 911 to save my mother's life.
Wow.
It's definitely, that calling of, okay, I'm going to either pity myself, or I'm going to succumb, or I'm going to decide to help others. And it's funny, at least for me, the moment I made the decision to change my mind and to not be a victim, but to be cause and to, reach out and help others, it was almost hilarious, like, oxymoron funny, to the degree that I just kept finding more ways to help. I kept finding more areas. Like, I sat down to write my book on hiring because I knew that business owners' biggest challenge was how to find the right people. And I had come from a company that I had helped grow, and I didn't find hiring a challenge. And so someone really pointed out to me, look, that's a unique ability. That's something you need to share with the world. And then when I did, I realized, wow, what about the people interviewing for jobs? And like I said, I come from a military family. And so I realized that, not only do we have a real issue with, retired veterans committing suicide every single day, but we also have a situation of that they're not well prepared for civilian life when they retire. And nowadays, there's forced retirement along with just, 3 years tours of duty and GI bills and all these reasons they're coming out of the military, a couple $100,000 a year. And so I realized that if I wrote how to interview and get hired from the other side of the desk, now I could help the military and, graduating college students. So it just keeps expanding once you make the decision to help others.
Absolutely nailed it. There's so many veterans coming out of the military, either because it's not for them, or there's a lot of them that just go in for 4 years, get their post 9/11 GI Bill, they get their commission, they get whatever it is that they want to get from the military, and then they bounce. The time of coming into the military to do that 20, to be a career military serviceman or woman is just, it's not as prevalent as it was when I joined in 2001. When I joined in 2001, everybody was a career person. Everybody wanted to be in. Now, I mean, I know so many people that are in for like 4 or 5 years. Like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. This is stupid. I'm out. Like, well, I mean, military is it's a whole different animal. You're used and abused, and you defend freedom, and you go into harsh conditions, and it's not like you can quit. So, I mean, the military is going to be like, you just got to do it. Like you signed the dotted line, like you got to do it. So I can see where there's a lot of, the suicide, the PTSD, the depression, the anxiety, the stress. I mean, everything that goes along with it. We had one of our deadliest years last year. So it's just, it's tough, So I appreciate you sharing that. I really do. I got a big, deep veteran network that listens to the show, so I really appreciate that.
It's good.
So what I really kind of wanted to touch on, you had mentioned you had to call 911 to save your mom. From the time that I was in second grade to the time that I was in seventh grade, me, my mom, and my older sister were physically, mentally, emotionally abused by the guy that she was married to, not my dad. They had divorced, and she had remarried, and he was a coke addict and alcoholic, and just our lives were miserable. But I remember so many nights, me or my older sister just calling 911 or flicking on and off the outside light, really fast to alert somebody that something is happening in our house, and for them to call 911. And so I totally understood, where you were coming from there, and totally resonated with that. This domestic violence household for most of my childhood. So that's tough.
Yeah, I was there too. And also it wasn't my father, it was a stepfather. And, we've had long talks about it since. I was like, why did you choose him? Wasn't there writing on the wall? Weren't there, signs? And that's why I got so obsessed with learning how to choose the right people, because, one of my big keynote quotes now is, the people you choose will change the trajectory of your business and your life.
Yes.
And so I think that's what it is really, being diligent and not desperate with who you choose to, join your company or join your team or be part of your inner circle or, go into a relationship with. It's really important to not just ignore the gut instinct and ignore the telltale signs that you are hoping will change in some individual, but to really be willing to take responsibility for your decision. And I think if you start off with that approach, then you'll find that you make better decisions, and you'll find that people seek you out who are, higher tone, higher wavelength, higher ability, and higher self-worth, which then in turn gives you greater worth, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. There's so many analogies, that we could spout off.
Yeah.
What I got from that moment, that you just said, what I got from the takeaway from this moment, are people are like elevators. They can take you up or take you down.
True.
Choose wisely.
Truth. Yeah. And
because
I've had the elevator
so many people
cord cut and slammed,
Yeah. There's so many people, and I'm sure you feel the same way. There's so many people in my life that are not in my life who I wished hadn't come into my life because of everything that had happened with them. I didn't think that they were a toxic person. I didn't think that they were capable of, whatever they did. But man, what an ugly personality. What a terrible thing that they did. And I don't know what happened after they leave and, whatever. But then I know the ones that are in my life now who I'm so super thankful to have in my life because they are that special person. And they're absolutely incredible human being. So,
Most definitely.
so you take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yeah, if I can, because your listeners want to get huge value, I can give a really quick exercise that you can do to help at least with your immediate surrounding. Would you like that?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, I do this at speaking engagements, and it's hilarious because, when a speaker gets on stage, as you well know, from TEDx and such,
Yep.
right? You get on stage, the first thing you're worried about is people's phones going off. So I tell them, hey, pull out your phones, don't turn them off, turn them on. And I want everybody to, open your phone, and your listeners can do this. And it's a really, really therapeutic exercise. You open up your phone and you go to your favorites. Everybody's got an iPhone with favorites or a Samsung with your most dialed frequently, your Fab 5, whatever you want to call it, right? And what I ask people to do is to look through that list and, look who calls and you want to ignore the call. Who calls and, it makes you, feel anxiety. Who calls and you know that they're going to complain about something. Who calls and you know that they just don't care about you. They care about only themselves. I absolutely guarantee there's someone on that list that way. Now, conversely, I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, right? Conversely, look at that list and look at who makes you smile. And look at who really actually would be there for you. And I don't mean pick up the phone and listen to the latest joke about COVID-19. I mean, gonna pick up the phone and be there for you. Like hop in a car, hop on a plane, be by your side, do anything and everything you needed from a true friend who's on that list that's way. And then divide that list up. And for that, starting list, that list that, makes you a little bit nervous to answer the phone or, you feel anxiety about, just friggin' block the number. Just that's it. Or call them up and have a conversation with them and just say, I care about you. I feel I've invested in our relationship, but I gotta say, every single time you call, I just know it's going to be tedious. And, some people can handle that communication, and some people hang up on you and never hear from them again. And some people, maybe you shouldn't have that call with because it could end up a bigger problem.
Sometimes it's family.
Yeah, and sometimes it's family. And I literally, people come to me after stage and they're like, what if it's, a member of my family? Well, good. Then, handle them with, good roads, fair weather. Just handle them. I've got members of my family, I won't name names or whatever, but I know if I get on the phone with certain, not mom, but distant people, that as soon as I bring up, any subject that's a little bit, whatever, they're going to just go off and they're going to just start rolling into how wrong I am, how I should really check myself, how I should like this, that, the other, that, and tell me. It gets me worked up just even thinking about it. So when I talk to those people, it's just, hey, wow, the weather has been great here, and hey, how's the dog? You can always talk about their pet. You can always talk about something that's just a freak out subject, and then you go, oh, I really need to run, but it was so great talking to you. Boom, and the call's over, and you just make it really. Short and sweet, and you bring them up. And if you really go into the call with the attitude and the personality that you want to bring them up, instead of letting yourself, get down, then, it's like going to a fight. You want to get the first hit in, right? So this is a different kind of fight. You want to get the first smile coming from you, because otherwise you're going to be up against the ropes the whole rest of the time. So that's a good exercise to do for anybody who just wants to kind of up-level the circle around them, the people who care about them.
Right, and that's a really great exercise. And I'm sure there's a couple people on my phone that are either family who I really, I can't delete them,
That's
or
right. Yeah, you feel obligated.
You ever had somebody tell you stories? But I mean, it's kind of tough for them, and I don't know, and you ever had somebody, right, tell you stories of why they should have it? No, I can't. they're just having to do a run, and they're making excuses for them.
Totally.
Oh man.
Totally. You know,
Yeah.
conversely,
And what I noticed
I
about the
guarantee there's people in your phone that you haven't called and you should have.
Yeah.
That's the other
that's
side,
true.
you know, especially during this whole everybody trapped at home and everything like that. Like, go
Right.
through your damn phone and call some of those people who deserve to be cheered up by Sean, you know, like, and
Right.
I guarantee you'll put a couple smiles and you're like, hey, man, Sean Douglas. They'll be like, dude, how are you, you know, and you can brighten some people's day who probably need that as well. Just to balance
for sure.
it out, you know. Yeah.
I make a point on the 7th of every month. I call 7 people.
Really?
On the 7th of every month, I literally have it in my phone. It's in my calendar. Call 7 people, and I just pick 7 people, and I just call them up. I'm like, hey, I was thinking about you, and I really want. I just think of 7 people. I don't look at my phone. I don't look at Facebook. I don't look at whatever. I just think of something like, who are the 7 people that I've talked to on any sort of platform at all? And so if I talked to my mom recently, I'm not going to call my mom, but you know, maybe there's a cousin or maybe there's a friend that I really haven't talked to in a while. I'm like, who do I know? I'm like, oh, I know this person. So I write down 7 people and then I call them.
Wow.
I just call them. I'm like, hey man, just wanted to check in. Just wanted to see how you were doing. I was thinking about you, and that's it. That's all I wanted you to know. And you would not believe the response.
I'm going to spread that. I'm going to tell people about that, man, because I love that. That is a great thing.
It is. I'm telling you, it brightens people's day. And then a couple of people post on social media, like, I got a random phone call today. It was the most amazing feeling that somebody was thinking about me out of the blue. It was a great feeling. So who have you not talked? And then I see them like, who have you not talked to? Maybe you should call that person, you know? So every 7th day of the month, I call 7 people, and it's gratitude to me and it's gratitude to them, because I just want to display gratitude. It makes me feel good. It makes them feel good. It's good for everybody involved.
It's really super. I love it.
Yeah. So I really want to focus on your transformation, because just reading it, I'm like, 2.5 billion, huh? 2.5 billion, huh? Like, there's a story there. What is your transformational moment that happened to you and changed your life, which then put you on the path to what you're doing today?
Yeah, you know, what's funny, and you know, I don't mean to be, you know, what's the word, controversial or, you know, challenging or whatever, but my true transformational moment came after all of that rigmarole of the 2.5 billion in sales and all that, because you know, I mean, it's somewhat attached. I was an entrepreneur at heart. I dropped out of college to go after an entrepreneurial venture out in Los Angeles. I grew up in Boston. You know, I literally was born a couple blocks from Fenway Park. Went all the way through college, went to Northeastern University, and I got an opportunity in Los Angeles to go be part of the entertainment industry, and I dropped everything and went. And I just realized, like, I'd rather bet on myself than bet on a piece of paper that says I've got a degree and that I, you know, am well studied in, you know, in business or what have you. And I decided I was going to be street smart rather than book smart. And I will definitely say I've taken my lumps because of that, but I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, I bet.
And so that was a major,
that's
you know,
a big
I had
thing.
actually, go ahead.
That's a big thing right now. Like, gotta get a degree. Like, yeah, but man, there's certifications you can take. There's, oh my God, like, I know so many people without degrees that are millionaires. So many.
Totally.
They don't have a lick in college.
World famous people from, you know, like, all sorts of amazing people who, you know, don't have degrees. And I really think that it's not a necessity, in my opinion, unless you're going into something you need a degree, like a doctor or a lawyer or this, that, or the other, right?
100%.
You know, architects, blah, blah, blah. So otherwise, you know, go get close, you know, it's Gary Vaynerchuk's theory, right? Go get close to, you know, someone who's in the profession that you love and, you know, study beside them and, learn by observation and by trial and error and by caring about what you're doing. And at some point, you'll be doing what you really want to do, And conversely, I've got a couple stories about people who have gone out to do things that they thought was going to be their life's career. And then they went, whoa, my own sister wanted to be a veterinarian, since she was toddler and, whatever. And she was like, I'm going to be a vet. And we always were like, yep, she's going to be a vet. And let me tell you, right before high school, she went and did a summer internship at a veterinarian office, and that was the end of that. She was like, nope, I'm not cutting open any animals. Nope, I'm not going to deal with, broken and sad animals. Yeah. I'm going to go out and train dogs, which is what I really love about, quote, veterinarianship. And I've heard so many other stories like that. The woman whose husband said, oh, yeah, I'll buy you a coffee shop. And she went to work at, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf for a week and was like, I never want to see another cup of coffee in my life, right? So definitely try out the field that you want to go into. But then once you have a passion for something, you and I both know we get up every day loving what we do, helping others and making an income while we're helping others. That is absolutely priceless, and that's the way to live your life, not just punching a clock for someone who doesn't appreciate you. Now, that doesn't mean go quit your job tomorrow and then figure it out. It means figure it out and, build it up on the side. And then once you see, okay, you're going to be home free with this, then by all means quit your job. And that's really what I did when I was growing somebody else's company to $2.5 billion in client sales. I was the president, but I wasn't the owner. And so I had to, go and create something for myself. And that was a huge turning point in my life where I had to really, my wife and I talked about it, and my wife really encouraged me to go ahead and take the entrepreneurial leap. And let me tell you, that is not they make the joke about, jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down. Well, they don't tell you what to do after you bounce off the ground, right?
True.
The wings didn't make it quite yet, So that was the biggest true change in my life. And then, I think the grinding and climbing back up the cliff to take another shot at it is where I really built the character, and I really that's where my current success comes from. It's from hitting the bottom and then just deciding, okay, I'm not going to just lay here for the 10 counts. I'm going to get my ass back up.
Love it. Awesome. Love it. I completely agree with your mindset and your opinion. Completely agree. I spent, almost 20 years in the military, and I built 4 businesses, and three of them are 6-figure businesses, and one just got created last year. Kind of working on that one, but sold the other 2 because you're in the military, you don't have time to run multiple companies at one time. So I had to sell one, and I was still running one. Then I created one, then I had to sell one. But I grew that company to over $650K.
Wow.
There was five of us together creating this thing, equal shares split however many ways, and it was huge, huge company. And I did it on the side. There were people that were running it full time. There were, there was a couple of us, me and another military guy that were, again, doing it on the side, but me and my wife built a 6-figure business together. Buying storage units at auctions, like Storage Wars.
Oh, man.
And we created a 6-figure company out of it. So, you can create anything from anything. You just got to do it. And I like where you're like, build your wings on the way down. Like that's like a Steve Harvey type of speech. He's like, build your parachutes. You got to jump. You got to jump and build your parachute on the way down. I've heard Tony Robbins say you got to burn your boats. Take the island and burn your boats. You burn your boat so that you can't retreat.
And then swim.
And then swim.
And
I totally get
if
that.
If a shark comes up, punch it in the friggin' nose. Or take the bite. One or the other. Just keep going now.
And it holds so true in the podcast space. It holds so true. Because 10 to 12 episodes, statistics say that 80% of the podcasts will fade out.
Wow.
80% of the podcast. You get to episode 10 or 12, and then they stop. It's too hard. I'm not making money. First of all, if you're getting into podcasts and make money, you're in it for the wrong reason.
That's like saying writing a book is going to make you money, man. Forget about it.
Right? Never going to happen.
Totally.
You know?
Never.
It's just, it's never going to happen. So absolutely, you have to not quit, never give up, and just do it. But get alongside people. Too many times I hear like, well, I can't invest in a coach because I don't have any money. That's the perfect time to invest in a coach so they can make you money. Because you're going to sit there and spin your wheels. And so there's a whole thing like, do I have the mindset or do you need strategy? I'm 99% on strategy. I'm 1% on mindset. You can have the greatest mindset in the world, but if your strategy is shit, you're never going to go anywhere. You're always going to waste money. You're always going to waste time, right? I can be motivated to do that.
And vice versa. And vice versa.
Yeah.
Realize it's the other way too. And that's why you have to get a coach is because you've got to cater to your weaknesses, not cater to your strengths. Yep. If you're really good at website building, don't, hire a whole team of website builders. Hire a marketing guy and an organizational strategy guy so that you can now do something unique because guess what? Everybody builds websites, so get your shit together and build something that's worthwhile. Sorry.
Yep. Out.
Get excited.
Yep. Nailed it. So here's what I want to do. I want to give a takeaway to the audience. If they don't listen to any other part of this episode and they fast forward it to this moment, what is the one takeaway that you want them to know and understand from our conversation today?
This might sound really self-serving for you, but don't stop listening to Sean Douglas's podcast. And I say that not just being a wise ass, but here's the truth, right? You're going to get to hear from entrepreneurs, people who have been there, people who have done that, people who have failed. And those are the people you really want to hear from, the people who have failed and then gotten back up and made themselves worthy enough to be on your podcast. And it's not just your podcast. Listen to Gary Vee's podcast. Listen to my podcast. Listen to other podcasts and learn about, entrepreneurship in general, and then figure out how to apply it to your own hopes, dreams, goals, purposes, and business, because that's really what it's all about. If you're the smartest guy in the room, as Joe Polish says, right, then you're in the wrong room, right? Go out and learn. That was what I think would be the most important takeaway.
Outstanding. I absolutely love that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that promotion. I really appreciate that. So I'm curious, has the Create Your Future conference, has it been postponed? Is it still going on? What's the plan for that?
Wait, can't we just not talk about that? Come on, man.
Okay, got it. No, I've heard events like postponing. I've heard of people we'll just do it in November. But who even knows? I've heard that somebody from Harvard was like, we have to quarantine until 2022. I'm like, oh God, give me a break.
Man.
So
yeah, right.
I don't know. Anybody knows what's going on. Virtual summits are huge. Podcasts are huge right now. So you still get your message out, right? You still get your message.
Yeah,
you can do
absolutely.
a Create Your Future virtual event.
Yeah. So Create Your Future was developed to help people learn how to become authors, speakers, coaches, online marketers. That's my purpose in life. Really, that's how I'm going to create an impact on the production and prosperity of the world. And as you already know, I have a strong purpose to help students and military and really entrepreneurs as a whole. And I've learned so much in doing, I've traveled around the world getting to speaker. I've been really blessed to give events, from Australia to Israel to Switzerland to, just everywhere. And people are the same all around the world, which I don't think everybody really realizes. And, something like, COVID-19 hitting, I think starts to bring it a little bit more at home of wow, look at those people in their apartments in Italy, looking out the window. that looks just like, Boston, and then, wow, look at those people in Spain, walking around. And people start to realize, like, the world is, very similar. Just because we have some different culture points and speak different languages or whatever, like, we're all going through the same thing. So when I developed Create Your Future, it was really because anybody can become a genius. Anybody can become an entrepreneur. Anybody can, work from home and do what they love. You just need to learn the basics. You need to learn the fundamentals, and then you can flourish and you can prosper and you can succeed.
Yep.
And so that's really my message for the world. And we are going to do a virtual summit or two, and then we are going to reschedule the conference probably in October, depending on what all unfolds with, reinvigorating our economy. And we're going to have Tim Story and Joe Polish and Steve Sims and, the CEO of FusionSoft and Coach Michael Bird and Ted McGrath and, like, Bradley, like, all these amazing people are going to be there. And we're going to really, like, hammer on people to learn, and we're going to give them exercises. We're not going to just motivate them so that they leave a couple days later motivated. Right. I hate conferences like that. You go and it's like, wow, I'm so excited to do what? Well, I'm so excited. Like, I want people to leave with the skills and the tools to actually do something. So they can check that out at createconference.com. Check back in. We'll soon have a date up there, and along the way, we're going to give some free gifts away. But, that's the future, cool. And unfortunately, had to postpone.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. You got a great cast of speakers up there, some heavy hitters, people who have absolutely changed the industry, and so I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on all the success that you've had, and I'm excited for what the rest of 2020 into 2021 holds for you, man. So I want to thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I cannot wait to see what happens with the conference and everything else, man. So thank you so much for spending time with me and the audience today, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thanks so much for having me. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around him. If anything resonated with our conversation today, please connect with David Lee Jensen at davidleejensen.com. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, right there in the show notes. Connect with him. Don't be creepy. Send him a friend request, letting him know that you listened to the episode of Life Transformation Radio. And with that, I close the show by saying, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.